Welcome to Fueling Your Legacy, hosted by Samuel Knickerbocker. Each week, we expose the faulty foundational mindsets of the past and rebuild a new, stronger foundation essential in creating your legacy. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fueling Your Legacy. I decided that I'm going to start doing my Facebook Lives again while I'm also recording my podcast because I want more people to be able to see and understand and really reach as many people as I can with this message because it is important to me and I believe that it can change your life when applied to it. And so that's really what my objective is here. But my website is finally live. It's still got some tweaks to work out, but that's samknickerbocker.com. If you want to go there, should be able to check out a little bit more about my story, what motivates me, why I'm there. Also a nice little video of my story is on there as well. But then also if you go through, I'd love some feedback. So if you want to send me some direct messages in Facebook or on Instagram, that'd be great. Just to tell me what you like about my website, what you think might be a little bit better or more functionality if you were to build it yourself. So I can always be improving that. Also, you will have access to my free ebook, which is on there finally, which is going to be the 9 pillars to build a meaningful legacy. I want to help people know exactly why they need to build a meaningful legacy. It's not just like, do we build a meaningful legacy, but why is it important for you to go build a meaningful legacy? Why is it important for you to really become your best self, not just here and now today, but for the future and moving forward. So that is going to be on there as well. Plus there's going to be some opportunities there. If you want to schedule me to come out and speak at different events, then I can definitely take care of that. And you can go through that process there. And then also for the people who are interested in meeting with me one-on-one, then we can, on there, there's a link where you can fill out a form as a way to kind of just introduce yourself to me and see if there's a match that we could meet together and see if there's any way that we can help each other move forward in our goals and help you accomplish your dreams and create a meaningful legacy for yourself. So those are some things that if you can go and check that out, that'd be awesome. And then also just leave a comment and review on the podcast here, either on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, wherever it is that you listen to this podcast, just go ahead and leave a review. If you'd like to leave a review for me on my Facebook business page, you can do that as well. Whatever works best for you, but I'd love to just have your feedback and also be able, the more reviews we have, then the more farther our reach goes. Today, we're going to be talking specifically really about the emotional healing that needs to happen for us to create our meaningful legacy. This is something that's pretty important for me because this is kind of the place that I come from when I'm going out and speaking, when I'm going out and sharing my message. I operate out of love, right? And I went through some pretty sucky things as a child, and I can go into those, and I don't like to dwell on them, but I'm learning more that I need to be able to connect to that pain so that I can help you as a listener also really understand where I'm coming from and create contrast in your life so that you can hear the message of hope and the message of love. So that's an important piece of that. So I want you to go back and just maybe close your eyes and think about the first time you felt fear, the first time you felt uncertainty in your life. It probably wasn't, as far as like the first thing you remember, it probably wasn't before you were 2 years old. It's probably somewhere around the 2-3 years old mark. That's when it happens for most people, where the first time they feel maybe abandonment. They feel like, hey, I can't help myself and I need help. For me, one of these memories that sticks out to me is I've spoke about our house before, but it was definitely under construction as I was growing up. And there was 2 stories of the house, and my dad, my brother, and myself, we were up in on the second story crawling around. And there was my dad, and then my brother was behind me. I was in the middle. My dad seemed to crawl right over a hole that was in the floor there, and I didn't see it. I crawled and fell through the hole into the laundry on a couch. I don't know how it was so perfect, but that's what happened. And I remember the following. I remember the fear of like not knowing what was going to happen. I mean, you just don't know what something like that could happen. I fell through the ceiling onto this pile of clothes. And that was probably the first memory that I have of fear and have of uncertainty of like what the crap is happening. But what I'm here to tell you is your experience of emotion and energy actually goes back farther than that. Your fears actually go back farther than that. Think of you being born, okay? And you may not recognize that even you being born is something that from an energetic standpoint is affecting you, but it can affect you because all of the energy that your family that was or surrounding that environment, even before you were born into the pregnancy, it's well documented science at this point. The things that the mom eats, it goes into the baby, right? So that the baby's being fed off of what the mom's eating. So if the mom has a bunch of tons and tons of negative emotions or anxiety, depression, things like that, then those are impacting the baby. Now, that's not to say we should beat ourselves up about those feelings if you're going through that, but just recognize they have impact on the children and they had impact on you. And so going back to those experiences and healing yourself from those experiences, they can be super freeing and actually help you get into a better mindset yourself. And that's really what my message is healing. I was just having a conversation with my little sister last night, and many people in life, we all struggle with different things. And for me, I found that my passion is helping people regain their self-confidence and to be at peace with themselves. But what has to happen, though, is we have to go back to our past and heal some of these experiences. She found herself in a position yesterday where she was in an environment that she hasn't been in a while, and she just was getting knots in her stomach and feeling really kind of sick about being in this environment because of some of the traumatic things of her past. And her way of dealing with that is just to not put herself in the environment. But unfortunately, when we just ignore the environment that we were in and we don't learn to be at peace with ourselves in that environment, then we're unable to grow, right? So for me, there are times where I've been uncertain with who I was. There's been times when I let other people push me around and decide things in my life for me. This happened a lot as a child. I'm the 7th of 11 kids, which I've mentioned many times. And when there's that many children, that many things going on, especially as one of the younger ones who's still learning and growing, you just get told what to do a lot rather than being asked what to do or led or guided. You just get told, and there's not enough time to really negotiate over something. You just have to do it, and you have to learn to act decisively quickly. And that's basically how I was raised, without any real freedom to do what I wanted to do, to really create and become my own person. And well, there was a point in my childhood where I decided I'm not doing that anymore. And I established my independence. I told my mom, I told my dad, told my family, hey, look, I don't need any of you guys. I just want to be independent. I'm not playing games anymore. I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet and I'm going to do me. And anybody who has a problem with that, I don't really care. I don't need you. I don't need anything from you guys. I just need the freedom to make my own decisions. And from that moment in my life, I really, have taken a lot of responsibility for my life. Does that mean I was super mature? Does that mean I was grown up? No, absolutely not. I don't profess to know everything even now. I'm still learning every day, and I love that I'm learning every day. But what's important is I'm not stuck on I'm not waiting for somebody else to tell me what to do. I'm acting, I'm in control of what I want my life to be and what I want to create in my life. And I'm actively doing that. And I recognize that I don't know everything. So I'm hiring coaches. I'm working with people to help me grow. But what's important is that I'm taking control of my life. I'm not allowing somebody else's emotions, somebody else's actions to have an impact on me. At the moment, this is my belief. The moment you say in your mind that somebody else did something to you or anything like that, then you're surrendering that power. And so we have to go back to those earliest experiences when we first felt these emotions. And then rather than on constructing a story that it's somebody else's fault, somebody else did something, somebody else should have done something, somebody else should have prevented something, rather than putting the responsibility on somebody else, we have to take back our own responsibility. We have to create in ourselves the ability to respond to every situation. And once you create this habit of thought, then it's just going to play throughout all of your experiences. Then when you go back to revisit these experiences, there's still going to be a little bit of emotional healing that needs to be done with each experience, a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of love extended to those individuals who gave you the opportunity to grow. But it's important to go all the way back to these experiences and make sure that you're processing through them. Because if you just like do it once and then skip over a bunch of crap you don't want to visit because it's too painful and then try and move on, that's not going to work either. You have to actually go to the pain point, process the pain point, make sure that you are experiencing the pain, the joy, the love, and being completely honest about everything. There's a huge tendency, unfortunately, in this world of personal development, growth, healing, things like that, to go back to these experiences. And the process of healing is to just recognize the bad, because generally as humans, we want to mitigate the amount of pain we feel. And so we will not feel the pain and we'll only focus on the good. The problem is if we go all the way back to these experiences, which we need to do, but then we just focus on the pain and we don't include the good in that recollection of that experience, then we're doing an injustice. And yes, it's important that we feel the pain. Yes, it's important that we fully acknowledge the pain and the hurt that those events caused. But if we are not willing to at least acknowledge as well, along with that, all the joy and the greatness that came out of that and the things that you learned, especially hindsight, the things that you learned, then we're shortchanging our experiences. And I would hate for that to happen. So don't just discredit these painful experiences. Go back and experience them. Don't just experience the pain of these experiences and forget to experience the joy, the love, the care, right? Make sure that you're experiencing all of it, the pain and the joy, the pain and the pleasure. As you do that, then you're able to take that whole experience and move forward with your life, know what to avoid, but you're able also to accept all the joy. For me, when I was preparing for marriage, I recognized that I had some crap in my life, a lot of trauma, physical abuse, mental abuse, I would say even spiritual abuse from primarily my mother at the time. That's where it stemmed from. But it was really just the whole situation. It was just sucky. Ultimately, it was just really sucky. And I knew that before I went into a relationship, I wanted to heal these experiences. The issue that I faced was I had emotionally blacklisted all of those things. I didn't want to experience the pain or the pleasure. I didn't want to experience any of it. So I would just forget about those experiences. But in doing so, I was eliminating all of the good that happened in my childhood as well. I was eliminating all of the joy, all of the fun things that happened, all of the positive memories of my mom, all of the positive everything. I was eliminating the fact that my mom loved me. I was eliminating all these things. I was like, that cannot be healthy. We need to be objective about what we're doing while we're processing this pain. And so I hired somebody to help me go back through all of these experiences, experience them in a safe place where like I wasn't going to go commit suicide or do anything crazy when I got emotionally down from experiencing these, but go process through all of these pains, but also recognize and extrapolate all of the good things that have come from those experiences, thus helping me connect with the pain, but also move forward with all the joys and help those propel me into a more loving state. The most loving thing for me is that this stuff happened and I got to grow from it. And that's the way I choose to look at my life. And I'd encourage each of you to think, okay, all of these things that have happened in my past, how can we choose the joy out of these experiences? Not discredit and not ignore the pain. I don't think the joy can really be as sweet as it can be without the pain, right? If you just have a perfect, happy life, then you're not going to experience the same amount of joy as in contrast. And so it's important to have that contrast, but it's not so necessary to dwell in the pain, but that love can actually propel you forward into a lot of joy. And I'm going to, in my webinar that I'm going to be producing, I'm going to be discussing this on another level, especially when it comes to debt, when it comes to production, when it comes to really growing. It's important to understand love trumps fear every day, all the time. It's important to allow love to trump fear, but the only way it can happen is if we recognize that there's fear. If we recognize that there's pain, that's when love is truly able to excel and trump all of those negative feelings. So I'm super excited for this week. We're going to be doing a book review on Wednesday, and then on Friday, we have a guest. Her name is Natalie Bushnell, and she is going to blow your mind. She has concepts and ideas and things that even transcend me, to be completely honest. She helps me expand my mind and look at things in a way that I just have never considered. Although I've considered a lot of things in my life, I haven't considered like just mind-blowing things that ways that she looks at her life to help her and give her power. And so definitely tune in for that Natalie Bushnell Friday's podcast. And it's going to be a life-changing thing for you. I will warn you right now, it is explicit. So if you have a problem with that, then maybe you don't want to listen to it. There's some language in it, but it's, in my opinion, worth listening to. And I would not, I wouldn't worry about the language, honestly, but that's me. But I think it's important for us to experience lots of different things so we can learn and grow. So that's going to be happening on Friday. And then again, please review, rank the podcast, and make sure that other people can hear and grow themselves, because this whole thing is about personal growth. It's about how can I become the best person I can be today so that I can be there and be the best person I can for my family, for other people. And then ultimately, how can I build a legacy out of being the best me? The best you is going to be different than the best me. We have different interests, different likes, different goals in life, and that's okay. But how can you be the best you today? And then tomorrow, how can you be the best you tomorrow? And always be compounding that growth rather than just like doing a little bit or staying stagnant. How are you compounding that growth of becoming better every day? So please rank, review the podcast, get this out there to more people. And then obviously, if you disagree with anything I'm saying, which I'm totally fine with, please comment on the Facebook Live. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be heard, and then we can discuss these things. And if you feel that I'm off base, I'd love to hear your perspective. I have come to my opinions through a lot of reading and a lot of personal discovery and a lot of growth and a lot of seeing other people and counseling and mentoring other people to process their pain. So I'm always open to new things, and that's kind of my perspective right now where I come from. So look forward to chatting with you, and I hope you have a great time next time you listen to the Fueling Your Legacy podcast. Thanks for joining us today. If what you heard resonated with you, please like, comment, and share on social media. Tag me so I can give you a shout out on the next episode. And thanks to all those who have left a review. It helps spread the message of what it really takes to build a legacy that lasts. Catch you next time on Fueling Your Legacy.